Donald Trump's utterly incompetent director of the FBI, Kash Patel, is falsely complaining about people attacking his girlfriend when no one is attacking his girlfriend.
Right, but the Trump administration would never let the truth get in the way of some good old waste, fraud, and abuse. Because despite Kash Patel's country singer girlfriend never once being the subject of any sort of attack, unless of course you count being hit on by a guy 19 years your senior an attack, but clearly Republicans don't, Keystone Kash decided today that his young little boo thang needed additional taxpayer resources to protect her. From what exactly? Well, nobody, not even the FBI itself, seems to know. More on that in a minute, but I'm not even just talking an extra security guard or two here. No, Alexis Wilkins is getting a personal elite FBI SWAT unit, one that is being ripped away from its much less important usual assignment, protecting an FBI field office. But as Kash instantly found out today, when you get caught flippantly wasting millions of taxpayer dollars on personal whims twice in the same month, people get pretty pissed.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
So if this story makes you mad as hell too, be sure to subscribe to Really American to help us take out the trash and keep a digital record of all the waste, fraud, and abuse the Trump administration doesn't want you to know about. And today's case is particularly egregious for a number of reasons, but personally, I can think of about 60 million.
He has been attacked for his reported personal use of an FBI jet to fly around the country to meet his girlfriend for date night. Kash Patel is the only FBI director in history to ever use an FBI plane for a date with a girlfriend.
The use of government jets for personal travel by former FBI director was sort of an obsession of Patel's for years. In 2023, Patel called former director Chris Wray a, quote, government gangster for his jet usage, which is why it was surprising to see Patel repost this photo on Sunday of him in his FBI-branded hoodie out on a date with his country singer girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins. Now, Wilkins was performing at a Penn State sporting event on Saturday. And if you're wondering how Kash Patel got there to support her, well, public flight logs show he took a taxpayer-funded government jet. Later that night, that same jet flew from Pennsylvania to Nashville, where Patel's girlfriend lives. Now, I should know, FBI directors are required by law to use government planes for security purposes. It's a point Patel raised in May when Senate Democrats last inquired about his jet usage.
Well, this is a great point. Do you know why I have to use a private jet? Because Congress made it mandatory.
Okay. In April 5th, well, we didn't make it mandatory that you go to UFC games with Mel Gibson.
Are you telling me I can't go home?
You got to use some judgment here.
Yeah, and judgment seems to be in short supply for Kash Patel or, frankly, anyone in the Trump administration. You see, MS Now first reported that Kash Patel's country music performer girlfriend currently enjoys the protection of an FBI security detail to shield her from potential threats, prompting concerns that the arrangement may delay law enforcement from responding to other incidents. The security detail is made up of elite FBI agents usually assigned to a SWAT team in the FBI field office in Nashville, where Wilkins spends time for her work. She and Patel first met in Nashville, and while they travel together at times, they do not share a residence. Patel often travels to Washington for work, but keeps a legal residence in Las Vegas. And people familiar with FBI security protocols said they were unaware of any instance in which the girlfriends of top FBI officials received government-staffed security details. Former FBI Director Christopher Wray's wife, Helen, received a security detail, but she lived with Wray in their home in Atlanta. And if Christopher Wray's name rings a bell here, it might be because of this.
It's worth also reminding our viewers when it comes to the whole private jet thing that you mentioned, Elise, that in the past, Kash Patel has been pretty critical of someone else's private jet use. Take a listen to this.
Chris Wray doesn't need a government-funded G5 jet to go to vacation. Maybe we ground that plane. $15,000 every time it takes off. This is odd.
Go take their money. Chris Wray doesn't need a private jet.
We're not the guys running around on private jets. And somebody, maybe in Congress, should ask for how many flights
on a private jet Director Comey took, or my predecessor Director Wray took, and how many personal trips they took.
Starting to think somebody in Congress.
There's always a tweet with the Republicans, especially like the Trump administration, right? There's always an element of projection when it comes to them.
Yeah, you can't even make this shit up anymore. And the SWAT team agents on the detail with Wilkins would presumably be unable to respond or would be delayed in responding to crises that might develop in their territory, such as mass shootings or terror attacks. And in classic Trump administration fashion, an FBI spokesman did not respond to MS Now requests for comment. But you did have a former FBI agent going mega viral late last month after Kash's initial scandal broke with this incredible takedown of the FBI director's wasteful spending and attacks on his predecessor.
Chris Wray mandates himself to fly in a private jet that we pay for. Will you shut that waste down? Non-FBI Director Kash Patel, meet FBI Director Kash Patel, who says we're better stewards of your money because we fly to a different thing that we don't need to fly to. He also had another tweet that said government gangster Chris Wray lying to Congress and jetting off on our taxpayer dollars while dodging accountability on the implosion of the FBI on his watch. We're in the middle of a government shutdown where they're not even going to pay all of the government employees that work for the agency that this guy heads. And he's jet setting off to go hang out with his girlfriend in Nashville on our dime. And he's going to an RAF, the Real American Freestyle Wrestling Fight Night, where she posted pictures of it and went behind the scenes and held up the belt. I don't know what Real American Freestyle Wrestling is because I don't care, because I don't have time for leisure like that. You got two people here that are grifting off the American public. And he flew a $60 million aircraft to go hang out there. Is that gross to anybody else? Is it just me? I find it gross that you're abusing our money. I find it more gross that you campaigned on getting that job by calling out the exact same thing that you are doing. If that doesn't make you furious, I don't know what does.
Yeah, well, I can give you two other things that will definitely piss you off. Firstly, Christopher O'Leary, a former senior FBI agent, noted, quote, "There is no legitimate justification for this. This is a clear abuse of position and misuse of government resources, and she is not his spouse, does not live in the same house, or even the same city." And then, of course, you had Representative Eric Swalwell responding to the news and saying, "I don't want anything to happen to @FBI Director Kash or his girlfriend. Protect her if she's threatened. It's just effed up that he refuses to protect me and my kids from multiple specific death threats. Same for other Dem colleagues, can only conclude he wants us dead." Which is a fair assumption, right? You'd think maybe after the death of multiple congresspeople, Minnesota lawmakers in their homes by violent right-wing lunatics, hell, even after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, that there would be someone, anyone other than Kash Patel's 27-year-old girlfriend worth protecting from non-existent threats, right? Something, anything other than Kash Patel taking a private jet to see, again, his 27-year-old girlfriend perform at a wrestling event that the FBI could be directing its resources to. But no, here the fuck we are. And I wish I could say that this is a one-off scandal, but of course, it is not with the Trump administration.
I love the logic there. I had to go to the event. So what, I'm supposed to stay there? Well, you don't have to go to every event. Patel's lack of judgment when using a taxpayer-funded plane for private excursions during a government shutdown on the eve of SNAP benefits running out is really just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, we have seen members of the Trump administration taking advantage of government perks, like DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, who spent more than $172 million on private jets. Now The Atlantic is reporting that officials like Stephen Miller, Noem, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and others are living in homes meant for generals on military bases. They say it's for security reasons, though they already have personal security details. And in the past, those people with those jobs didn't occupy these homes. They all seem to be taking Trump's cues. They can help themselves to the public till.
Right. So while you starve, or at least pay most of your income on basic survival, while the government gets shut down on a whim to stop a gang of pedophile protectors whose ringleader is the president from getting exposed, while you get taxed at the wazoo and lose your healthcare benefits, while billionaires and foreign countries get socialized bailouts and tax breaks, the top brass of the swamp are living lives of luxury on your dime. And God forbid you have the gall to call them out for it, then, well, you're unpatriotic. You're a left-wing, lunatic, Marxist, buzzword, Democrat, hoax-believing idiot. Jesus, I mean, at this point, I think Alexis Wilkins needs an elite FBI SWAT team to protect her from the elite gaslighting of 19 years her senior pedophile-protecting boyfriend, Kash Patel. And look, folks, until the end here, I think I did an okay job of reporting accurately enough in this one, and I do think most maggots are actually getting sick and tired of Kash Patel, and at this point, they might actually enjoy some bashing of him. So if you don't mind and want to do your good deed for the day, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe so we can maybe get YouTube to push this video into their algorithm to then help them get a little closer to pushing the Trump administration off a cliff to its ultimate collapse and demise. And hell, for all the fiscal conservative maggots or just basic Republicans, we can finally cut out all that waste, fraud, and abuse they were so worried about earlier this year.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw!
Thanks for watching, folks. I love all your faces. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse, and I'll see you guys in the next one.